Alright guys, we have a simple bow tutorial for you all today. We're going to be making a triple stack Monster High inspired hair bow, and I like the look of a double stack or a triple stack twisted boutique bow. However, if you've ever tried to make one and you just stick two twisted boutique bows on top of each other, you know that the ribbon gets crushed and the loops end up all wonky and it just looks odd. I like the fullness of a triple stack or a double stack, but I want it to look somewhat full. And as you can see right here, we have 3 layers, and nothing is going to get crushed. All is going to remain intact, and it's super easy. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I've got all of my supplies ready. I'm going to be working with 3 pieces of ribbon. I'm going to leave all the links and measurements down below in the descriptions box. This is actually one of the collections from Tutu the Moon, and it is that Monster High inspired collection. I love it. So I'm using 3 pieces of ribbon. I'm going to use this felty because it's Monster High. And of course, my other supplies, your scissors, your lighter. I've got my glue gun plugged up. You'll need thread, needle, something to measure with, all of that good stuff. Now let's go ahead and get started. Okay, and if this looks familiar, it is actually a cookie sheet that I have lined with duct tape, and this is what I use to hold my supplies that I'm working on. I can just put all the supplies that I need right here, just in case I'm not working in the same room as my craft area. So yeah, I just like it. You can pick it up and go. That's how I like it. Alright, so first things first, I wanted to go ahead and measure out my twisted boutique bow, because that is going to be on the very top. And this ribbon is maybe 7/8 inch width. It might be 1 inch, but I'm thinking that it's 7/8 inch. So to get a 4-inch topper, I will need 24 inches of the 7/8 inch ribbon. That just happens to be the width that I am working with today. And this is going to be for our twisted boutique bow that's going to go on the very top. And it's important that I make this bow, because this bow size will determine how big to make my 2 surround bow parts. And again, this video is just some tips to help you get that fuller triple stack bow. If you need the complete tutorials for any of the bow parts that I'm working with, I will leave all of that down below in the descriptions box, and I usually do that if I do a video of this nature. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and fold my twisted boutique bow. And like I said, if I go a little too fast, don't worry, because I do have another tutorial that will be better for you to follow along with. Alright, and after you have creased your bow, wrapped it with the thread, heat sealed the ends, of course, we are going to go ahead and set this aside and spray it with our Stiff and Quick. I love this stuff. You can also use a spray starch, or some of you might like to use hairspray. Whatever you use to stiffen your bows, go ahead and spritz it just a little bit, and we're going to allow it to dry while we work on our other 2 pieces. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and work on the middle piece, which will be a surround bow. I'm using 28 inches of a 7/8 width ribbon. Because my topper was 24 inches in length, I went up a few inches because I want my surround bow to hug the loops of the topper. I don't want them to be too overwhelmingly large. All right, so these are just going to hug the topper bow. All right, like I said, 28 inches. We're going to go ahead and cut it in half to get our 2 pieces that we need for the surround bow. And there they are. All right, so now we are working with 2 14-inch strips of ribbon. This will make the middle portion of the bow in the first surround bow that we're working with. All right, so this one is going to be in the middle of the sandwich. It's going to be hugging the topper bow. All right, so you just want to go ahead and form it into a surround bow. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue and connect the two surround bow parts, and then we'll be finished with this one. This is a simple bow. All right, I'm just gonna place them one on top of the other. You wanna make sure they're all lined up like they should be. And now you have a surround bow, your first one. Okay, and for the final part, we're gonna be making one more surround bow, but I'm going to be using 32 inches of ribbon because I want this surround bow to hug the middle surround bow, if that makes sense. All right, this is the third and last part to this bow. Super simple. And again, we're going to fold the 32 inches in half. We're gonna cut right down the middle where we have two 16-inch pieces, and you can go ahead and form your surround bow. Okay, all three parts are complete. Now we are just going to put them all together, and it's time to put it in the little one's hair. Now, all you do is take the largest surround bow, which is this one with that cute argyle print. We're gonna add a drop of the hot glue right there in the center. And then you're going to take your other surround bow, and here's the print on that one. And you're just going to glue it right there in the middle. You want to make sure they're all straight. See the loops, how it gives it a fuller look. All right, and the very last part is adding the twisted boutique bow right here on the top. See how easy this was? And it's going to be so super full. Make sure I'm getting the right side, and that goes right there on the top. All right, and now we're just going to give it a quick glimpse and make sure all the loops are even, and you might want to spray it a little more. If you've got a wonky loop, just go ahead and do all your adjustments before you put it on the actual clip. All right, I went ahead and added the cute little felty in the center. See that little skull? But we are completely finished with this bow. How simple was that? Just 3 parts. And you still get the full look of a triple stack bow, but it's super simple. And you won't have any wonky loops, and nothing's going to get crushed. All right, now all you have to do is add this baby to a clip, and I have not added it to a clip because there is a headband, a chatty headband that I'm going to sew mine to. But if you need help adding this to a clip, I'm going to include the tutorial in the descriptions box so you can follow along. But that's gonna wrap it up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.